Unexpected potential. The massive exploration vessel Horizon's Edge drifted silently through the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Arm, its sleek titanium hull gleaming against the backdrop of distant nebulae. Commander Elena Rodriguez sat in the central command chair, her dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her bridge. Something felt different about this sector, a tension that seemed to pulse through the ship's advanced sensor arrays. "Lieutenant Kai, run another deep scan diagnostic," Elena commanded, her voice calm but alert. Kai Matthews, the ship's lead science officer, nodded and began manipulating the holographic controls with practiced efficiency. "Anomalous energy signatures detected," Kai reported, his Australian accent cutting through the bridge's ambient sounds. "Nothing matches our current database of known galactic phenomena." The ship's communication specialist, Arielin, leaned forward. "I'm picking up faint transmission fragments. They're unusual. Not like any encryption we've encountered before." Elena's mind raced. Humanity had been exploring deep space for decades, but each mission still held the potential for the unexpected. The Horizon's Edge represented the pinnacle of human exploration technology, a testament to humanity's relentless drive to understand the unknown. Suddenly, the ship's quantum communication array lit up with an incoming transmission. The bridge crew exchanged glances. First contact scenarios were meticulously trained for, but nothing truly prepared you for the moment of actual encounter. The transmission resolved into a visual, a being unlike anything humans had previously encountered. Crystalline structures seemed to form its body, with multiple appendages that shifted and realigned continuously. When it spoke, the ship's advanced translation matrix struggled to convert the complex linguistic patterns. "Unidentified vessel," the translation finally stabilized. "You have entered restricted quantum preservation zone of the crystalline collective." Elena's training kicked in. Diplomatic protocol was clear. Remain calm, show no signs of aggression, but also demonstrate confidence. "This is Commander Elena Rodriguez of the human exploration vessel Horizon's Edge," she responded. "We are on a peaceful scientific mission of exploration." The crystalline being's form seemed to pulse with what might have been confusion. "Peaceful? Your vessel's energy signature suggests considerable technological capability. Most species attempting entry would have been systematically neutralized by our quantum defense grid," Kai whispered to Elena. "Their defense grid should have detected and eliminated us multiple sectors ago." How are we even having this conversation? It was a valid question. Human technology was advanced, but not to the point of completely bypassing an alien civilization's defensive systems. Something else was happening. "We mean no intrusion," Elena continued. "We are explorers. Our mission is to understand, to learn, to connect." The transmission flickered, the crystalline being's form becoming more agitated. Connection is not a typical response. Most encounters result in immediate defensive protocols. Your approach is unexpected. Aria leaned in, her fingers dancing across her communication console. "Commander, I'm detecting something strange in their communication pattern. It's almost like they're studying us as much as we're studying them." Elena realized they were witnessing something profound. Humanity's approach to exploration wasn't just about technological superiority or military might. It was about adaptability, curiosity, and an almost irrational hope of mutual understanding. "We recognize your sovereignty," Elena said carefully, "and we request permission to engage in scientific dialogue. Our intent is knowledge, not conflict." The silence that followed felt eternal. The crystalline being's form continued to shift, internal structures realigning in complex patterns that suggested deep computational processes. Finally, a response. "Prepare for controlled quantum interface. Your vessel's approach intrigues us." Kai's console erupted with warning signals. "Commander, they're initiating some kind of quantum-level scan of our systems." Elena remained calm. "Hold position. Do not initiate defensive protocols. Let them observe." It was a calculated risk, but humans had always been defined by their willingness to venture into the unknown, to transform potential threats into opportunities for understanding. Little did the Crystalline Collective know they were about to encounter a species that had turned adaptation into an art form, a species that could turn first contact into a dance of mutual discovery. The horizon's edge hung in space, a beacon of human potential, waiting for what would become a pivotal moment in galactic history. The diplomatic challenge. The quantum interface hummed with an intensity that made the horizon's edge vibrate at a molecular level. Commander Elena Rodriguez gripped her command chair, watching as intricate energy patterns danced across the bridge's holographic displays. Quantum synchronization at 62%, Kai Matthews reported, his voice tight with concentration. They're not just scanning us. They're attempting a direct information exchange. Aria Lynn monitored the communication systems, her fingers flying across advanced haptic interfaces. It's unlike any communication protocol we've encountered. They're trying to understand us at a fundamental level. The Crystalline Collective's representative, if one could call the shifting, translucent entity a representative, continued to pulse with complex internal rhythms. Its communication was less speech and more a multilayered transmission of conceptual data. Suddenly, a burst of information flooded the ship's systems. Images, mathematical constructs, and complex theoretical frameworks crashed through their communication arrays. It was as if the collective was attempting to comprehend humanity by dumping entire libraries of knowledge directly into their systems. Quantum buffer overload. Kai shouted. We're losing data integrity. Elena's training kicked in. Unlike most species that might panic or immediately raise shields, she recognized this as a form of communication. Chaotic, but potentially meaningful. Area. Initiate adaptive filtering protocol. Kai, use our quantum compression algorithms to manage the data flow. What the Crystalline Collective didn't realize was that humans had developed remarkable skills in information processing. Where most species would be overwhelmed, humans saw a challenge to be solved. The ship's AI, NeoVA, Neural Operational Versatility Assistant, began rapidly sorting through the incoming data. Commander, NeoVA's gender-neutral voice announced, the transmission appears to be a comprehensive test. They are evaluating our technological and cognitive capabilities. A holographic representation materialized, a complex three-dimensional diagram showing multiple potential communication scenarios. The collective was essentially running a live simulation, using the horizon's edge as both subject and participant. They're treating us like a complex mathematical problem, Aria observed, trying to solve us. Elena smiled. Humans excelled at being unsolvable. Kai, prepare a response. But not a direct data dump. We'll answer their complexity with creativity. Instead of a straightforward data transmission, the human team began constructing a response that was part scientific data, part cultural narrative, and part mathematical poetry. They wove together scientific principles with artistic expressions, mathematical theorems with philosophical concepts. The Crystalline Collective's form flickered. Its internal structures seemed to pause, then rapidly reconfigure. Unexpected response detected. The translation matrix struggled to interpret. Cognitive parameters do not align with predictive models. Kai leaned towards Elena. They're confused. We're not following any standard first contact protocols. Exactly, Elena whispered. We're showing them we can't be categorized or easily understood. The quantum interface began to shift. What had started as a potential confrontation was transforming into something else, a dialogue that transcended traditional communication methods. NeoVA interrupted. Commander, I'm detecting multiple parallel communication streams. The collective is simultaneously analyzing our response, testing our systems, and attempting to understand our cognitive approach. Aria's console lit up with warning signals. They're probing our cultural databases, historical records, artistic expressions, scientific journals. Everything is being analyzed simultaneously. The bridge crew watched in a mixture of tension and fascination. Humanity was being dissected by an alien intelligence that had likely steamrolled countless other species with its technological superiority. But instead of resistance, they were offering complexity. "Our strength has never been in being the most powerful," Elena said quietly, more to herself than to her crew. "It's in being unpredictable, in finding solutions where others see only problems." The crystalline collective's response came slowly, carefully constructed. Cognitive approach, nonlinear, adaptive, resistant to standard categorization, potential, undetermined. Elena knew they had passed some kind of test. Not through force, not through simple technological might, but through the uniquely human ability to be simultaneously logical and creative, structured and chaotic. Technological breakthrough. 3 standard galactic cycles after the initial encounter, the Horizon's Edge found itself in orbit around a critically damaged research station at the edge of the crystalline collective's territory. What had begun as a tense first contact had evolved into a tenuous collaborative relationship, and now, a potential crisis. The station's quantum stabilization matrix is collapsing, Kai Matthews announced, his holographic displays showing cascading system failures. If it goes critical, it'll create a quantum cascade that could destabilize an entire sector of space. Commander Elena Rodriguez studied the readouts, her mind racing. The crystalline collective had reluctantly requested assistance, an unprecedented admission of vulnerability. Most species would have simply attempted to contain the potential disaster, but humans saw an opportunity. "NOVA," Elena called to the ship's eye. "Begin full spectrum analysis. I want every possible data point." Area Lin's communication systems were alive with urgent transmissions. The crystalline collective's representatives, still those shifting, crystalline entities, were broadcasting a mixture of technological data and what seemed like genuine distress. "Their conventional repair protocols are failing," Area reported. "They've tried quantum realignment, structural reinforcement, even complete system reboot. Nothing's working." The research station was more than just a scientific outpost. It was a critical hub managing quantum entanglement networks that connected multiple star systems. Its failure would result in catastrophic communication and transportation disruptions across entire sectors. Kai approached Elena with a look of cautious excitement. "Commander, I think I see something. Their quantum stabilization approach is fundamentally linear. They're treating the station like a closed system, but it's actually a dynamic, adaptive network." Elena raised an eyebrow. "Go on. Humans don't just solve problems." Kai explained. "We reframe them. Instead of trying to stabilize the existing matrix, what if we introduce a completely different approach?" The bridge crew watched as Kai began constructing a radical solution. Drawing from diverse fields, biomimicry, fractal mathematics, neural network theory, he proposed a repair method that was less about fixing and more about allowing the station to heal itself. "It's like how the human body repairs damaged tissue," Kai explained to the bewildered crystalline collective representatives. "Not through direct intervention, but by creating conditions that trigger natural healing processes." NanoVA began running simulations. The proposed method was wildly unconventional. Where the collective's approach had been precise and controlled, this solution introduced controlled chaos, deliberate imperfections that would allow the system to find its own path to stability. The crystalline collective's response was immediate and confused. Probability of success, 0.3%. Structural integrity cannot be maintained through such imprecise methods. Elena smiled. "Probability has never been our strong suit." As the repair sequence initiated, the research station began to do something extraordinary. Instead of collapsing, it started to reconfigure. Quantum matrices shifted, realigned, merged, and separated in patterns that defied conventional understanding. "It's working," Kai breathed in disbelief. "The station is literally rebuilding itself using the repair method as a template." The crystalline collective's communication became a mixture of shock and emerging respect. Their perfectly ordered universe had just been challenged by a solution that embraced uncertainty and adaptability. Area's communication systems picked up their transmission. Cognitive approach. Unprecedented. Repair methodology contradicts all known quantum stabilization protocols. Success. Confirmed. Within hours, the research station was not just repaired, but significantly enhanced. Its quantum network was more flexible, more resilient than ever before. The crystalline collective had witnessed something profound, a problem-solving approach that defied their most fundamental understanding of system management. As the crisis resolved, Elena knew they had done more than save a research station. They had demonstrated humanity's most powerful attribute, the ability to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for radical innovation. The Horizon's Edge had just rewritten the rules of galactic problem-solving, and they were just getting started. The Great Test. The galactic alarm spread faster than any quantum transmission could travel. A massive gravitational anomaly was consuming entire star systems at the periphery of known space, a cosmic threat that defied every known method of scientific intervention. The Crystalline Collective's Emergency Council assembled, their intricate crystalline forms shimmering with barely contained panic. Representatives from 12 different advanced civilizations gathered in a quantum-locked conference chamber, each bringing their most sophisticated technological solutions. Unexpectedly, they had invited the Horizon's Edge and its crew. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood at the holographic display, her presence both calm and commanding. The other alien delegations watched her with a mixture of curiosity and lingering uncertainty. Their previous encounters with humans had challenged everything they thought they knew about technological problem-solving. The anomaly, began the Crystalline Collective's lead representative, consumes matter, energy, and even quantum information. Our most advanced containment technologies have failed. It grows exponentially, defying all known physical laws. Kai Matthews studied the holographic representation. The anomaly looked like a ravenous darkness, consuming everything in its path. Stars, planets, entire solar systems vanishing into its insatiable maw. Traditional defensive strategies? Elena asked. A reptilian delegate from the Zorn Confederacy spoke up. We've attempted quantum disruption, energy redirection, even attempting to create a reverse phase barrier. Nothing works. This anomaly absorbs everything. Aria Lin, the ship's communication specialist, noticed something peculiar in the data streams. It's not just consuming, she muttered. It's adapting. Elena recognized that look, the moment when a problem transformed from a challenge into a puzzle. No VA, she called to the ship's AI. Run a full spectrum analysis. I want to know not just what it's doing, but how it's doing it. The AI's response came quickly. Anomaly exhibits characteristics of a self-evolving system. Each intervention changes its fundamental properties. It's learning, adapting faster than any known computational model. The alien delegates looked defeated, but humans saw something different. It's not a threat, Kai suddenly announced. It's a system seeking equilibrium, like an immune response gone wrong, but still following some kind of internal logic. Elena nodded. We're not looking to fight it. We're looking to understand it. Over the next several hours, the human team approached the problem unlike any other civilization. Where others saw a destructive force, they saw a complex system with its own set of rules. They began constructing a series of intricate, interconnected interventions, not to stop the anomaly, but to guide it. We're going to give it a path of least resistance, Elena explained to the increasingly bewildered alien representatives. Not block it, not destroy it. Redirect it. The plan was audacious. Using a combination of quantum field manipulation, advanced mathematical modeling, and what could only be described as scientific intuition, they began to create a series of carefully constructed paths that would channel the anomaly's destructive energy. The Crystalline Collective's representative communicated their skepticism. Probability of success, 0.00001%. Intervention will likely accelerate destruction. Kai just smiled. Probability was never our strongest subject. As the intervention began, something extraordinary happened. The anomaly didn't just slow, it began to change. Its destructive pattern transformed, redirected by the human-designed quantum pathways. It was like watching a raging river being gently guided into a new river. Hours turned into days. The anomaly, once consuming entire star systems, was now being slowly, methodically redirected into a carefully prepared quantum sink, a region of space specially prepared to absorb and neutralize its energy. The alien delegates watched in stunned silence. How? The Zorn Confederacy representative finally asked. How could you do what no other civilization could? Elena's response was simple. We didn't see a problem to be solved. We saw a system to be understood. As the final stages of redirection completed, the anomaly, once a universe-ending threat, was reduced to a manageable quantum event. The Horizon's Edge had done more than save multiple civilizations. They had demonstrated a fundamentally different approach to existential challenges. Adaptation, understanding, creativity. Humanity's true strength wasn't in firepower or technological superiority. It was in the ability to look at the impossible and see opportunity. Galactic recognition. The Great Galactic Council convened in a moment unprecedented in recorded history. 12 major civilizations gathered, not for war, not for negotiation, but to discuss a single species that had fundamentally altered their understanding of problem-solving and survival. The chamber was a marvel of quantum engineering, a space that existed simultaneously across multiple dimensional planes. Representatives from civilizations that had existed for millions of years sat alongside the human delegation from the Horizon's Edge. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood at the center, flanked by Kai Matthews, Area Lin, and the ship's AI, NanoVA. They were a small group, just 5 entities, representing an entire species that had seemingly emerged from nowhere to become a pivotal force in galactic dynamics. The Crystalline Collective's representative, now transformed from a skeptical observer to something approaching an ally, began the proceedings. Humanity, the entity's crystalline form pulsed with complex energy patterns, represents an anomaly in our understanding of evolutionary development. Your species does not conform to any known predictive models of technological or cultural progression. A representative from the Zorn Confederacy spoke next. We have reviewed the data from the quantum anomaly intervention. Your approach defies every known principle of scientific methodology. You solved a problem by not solving it, by understanding it. Area Lin leaned close to Elena and whispered, "Sounds like a compliment, but I'm not entirely sure." The council continued. Each civilization presented their encounters with humans, each story more extraordinary than the last. The Quantum Research Station rescue, the first contact that broke every known communication protocol, the redirection of the universe-ending anomaly. We have analyzed your historical records, the Crystalline Collective continued. Your species has a remarkable capacity for what you call lateral thinking. Where most civilizations see boundaries, you see opportunities. Where others calculate risk, you embrace uncertainty. Kai Matthews couldn't help but smile. Humans had always been defined by their ability to look beyond the immediate, to see potential where others saw limitations. NeoVA, the ship's AI, began presenting a comprehensive analysis. Humanity's evolutionary path is unique. Unlike most species that specialize, humans developed as generalists. Our survival depended not on physical superiority, but on adaptability, cooperation, and creative problem-solving. The council chamber fell silent. The representative from an ancient silicon-based civilization spoke. For millennia, we believed technological advancement followed a linear path: specialization, optimization, perfection. Humanity demonstrates that true advancement is nonlinear. It is chaotic. It is fundamentally creative. Elena understood the subtext. This wasn't just a review of humanity's capabilities. This was a fundamental reassessment of what intelligence could mean. "We are not offering humanity a place in the galactic community," the Crystalline Collective announced. "We are recognizing that the galactic community must now adapt to include humanity." It was a profound moment. Humanity wasn't being invited. They were being acknowledged as a force that would reshape existing paradigms. As the proceedings concluded, Elena reflected on the journey. From a single exploration vessel to becoming a pivotal species in galactic dynamics. Not through conquest, not through technological superiority, but through an unshakable belief in the power of understanding, creativity, and persistent hope. Novie's final analysis captured the essence of their achievement. Humanity's greatest strength is not what it knows, but its infinite capacity to learn. The Horizon's Edge had done more than explore the galaxy. It had transformed humanity's place in it. As they prepared to depart, Elena looked at her crew, a small group that had become the unexpected architects of a new galactic understanding. They weren't conquerors. They were explorers. They weren't the strongest. They were the most adaptable. And in the vast, complex tapestry of the universe, that made all the difference.